Got our camera going, and I am ready to rock. Just don't forget to press L at the beginning of every game so that it doesn't randomly go into slow-mo on you.
I gotcha.
Still one person trying to connect. There it is. Sex Demons are all in. Dynamic Gaming is all in. And we will see who will win. When the game will
114, 113, 112. You synced? Because I didn't see that sync button.
Oh, it didn't give you a sync button. Okay, I'm at 114, 113, 112.
You're going to have to slow down about 10 seconds. 101. Or no, I am actually. Hold on. What's your timer right now?
105, 104, 103, 102, 101. A minute. 59 seconds, 58 seconds, 57, 56.
56, 54, 53. Okay,
Alright, we're pretty much even. Lots of taunts being thrown out here by the sex demons in the middle of the jungle. Let me see a golden Janice.
Run, Gab! Run!
Geb has a lot of opportunities to escape for this game since they have Janice on their team. Janice is always thinking with portals, and his portals can save lives and end others.
I believe in Isis.
Isis is a very strong mid laner. She's going to be very annoying. Muffin Man on Isis is something I've seen many times.
Oh, the stun! Run,
You can see here, he's got so much confidence on his Isis. And this is because he knows how to use Isis.
No.
And here we see the group gank that I thought was going to happen in the last game. Muffin Man taking the kill for himself. Geb unable to get away.
He is the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man who does live on
Do you know the Muffin Man?
This is definitely more of an early gank team that they've picked on the Sex Demons, so we will most likely see people going down if they go for any fights in the jungle. And they want to take both of the experience camps. Dynamic Gaming were all grouped up on this side of the jungle, so they weren't necessarily close enough to take that experience camp. If the Sex Demons decide to contest it, yeah, they are definitely going to go right after it. They're going to be able to take both experience camps, which denies experience to their enemies. So Dynamic Gaming will be at an experience deficit because of this.
Oh, I'll be back in just 1 minute. I'm sorry.
No problem. I had to leave, and now you get a break. Don't forget, viewers, as you stay here, you get more and more points to use in the raffles, and there will be a raffle after this game. Ooh, nice! Nice CC by Janice. I gotta say, Nitro is very strong as Janice. This is going to be a very interesting game to watch with him playing that god, as he is very good with Janice. Able to land a lot of that CC and hitting all that damage, and he is able to do a lot of damage very quickly, similarly to Kronos. Wow. The winner of the raffle ends up being I'm Ron 101 with 20 tickets with an 80% chance to win. Ooh, nice stun by Isis. Muffin Man looking very strong in lane right now, able to push very hard. Left-hand lane being pushed in pretty good, but that's where Sobek's utility is at its least effectiveness. When you're pushed in on the enemy, it's a lot harder to get those kills. Yes, congratulations, I'm Ron. Keep an eye on your inbox after the stream to see if see your code for your gems. The Shooper may be looking for a pull, but does not end up doing it. In the meantime, mid lane, Muffin Man gets ganked and killed by that Thor gank. Thor ganks early game are serious business. You've got to watch your back. Not even Nemesis could save that. You just can't. Too much damage too quickly. Berserker's Barrage on top of a Mjolnir is just so much burst damage. Here we see actually an odd pairing here. Mercury hanging out in the right-hand lane. Not necessarily a god I would think would be in a suicide lane like that. That long lane, trying to keep himself alive and try to keep the lane pushed as well. But he's doing great, so more power to him. Actually minimize that. I don't know if that's distracting for you guys, but it is for me. Just gonna minimize that. Ooh, nice doves. That's gonna deny the back to Mercury. Is he trying to bait? He could be. Uh-oh, there might be a gank going on in mid lane. Nemesis coming in from the left-hand side, but not going to be going in. Ooh, Thor is there to meet her, though. Nemesis is going to have a hard time against the both of them. Berserker's Barrage comes down, but a great stun. Nemesis now able to lower his armor, but he ends up getting away with a Mjolnir throw. Good job with the stun as well. Isis using her ult. As Thor goes up to the sky, he's going to be coming back down, but he's not going to be engaging. He has to land somewhere. Oh, he does go down onto Isis. Wow, that was risky. He could have died if she had her stun ready. Muffin Man unable to secure that kill for himself as Sobek coming in from the side here to help push. Geb following right behind him. Very good play. You should always follow your enemies when they leave your lane. It helps your teammates. Uller very strong at pushing, able to hit multiple minions at once and do big burst damage with those throwing axes. He's also got his survivor skin on, rocking the survivor skin. That's always good. Uller's very, very good at keeping lanes pushed, as you can see, killing minion waves almost instantly with very little mana use. You can see he's got way more mana than Apollo because it just doesn't cost as much to do what he does. Thor coming in from the side here. We might see a stun. There it is. The wall. The shockwave. The Berserker's Barrage. Silence comes down. Great stun by Muffin Man. Going to secure his life. Nemesis not even close to being able to save him if that went sour. However, it did not, so that's good. Mercury pushing Booba away, or Bubba. I'll call him Bubba since Booba is copyrighted. Trademarked at least. Zariel going to try to get this blue buff for his friend, but ooh man, Mercury harass proving to be a little strong here. Nemesis unable to get in there. That's very fortunate for Aphrodite. She was ulted by Nemesis, and that increased damage can be very deadly, even with some heals. Good play by Thor here. Azariel trying to come out here and do some big work for his team. Ooh, good stun by Muffin Man once again. Landing those stuns is a very important part of playing as Isis. Looks like Geb was able to narrowly escape a kill there. That's always good. You don't want to die if you can help it. There's that Janus pit. Missing that stun. Good dodge by Janus. Very good placement by Isis, forcing a pretty extreme dodge in order to get away from it. Thor going to be going back to base as Nemesis is maybe thinking about getting some buffs here. Going for the experience camp first to deny her enemy jungler some experience.
I am back. I apologize.
No problem. You're just in time for a fight on the left-hand side of the jungle. Sobek is going to try to get this Geb. Excellent pull. And there's the Isis ult. Not going to be turning into a kill quite yet. For some reason, Janus goes into the middle of that, ends up going down. Nemesis getting the last hit on Geb. And Isis getting the last hit on Janus. But in comes Thor. Thor trying to get some revenge for his teammates. Nemesis is now separated from her team pretty hard, but the double dash is going to help her get away. Apollo unable to secure the last hit. Now he's stunned. They're going to turn this right back around. Silence, stun, and kill. Blink with the last hit.
Cleanup king.
Very good at cleaning up, Isis is, when she lands those stuns. In spite of how good that gank was from Thor, they just didn't quite have the damage to finish it. Doyle announcing that the gems have been delivered. Look at that chain stun. Nemesis goes down to Janus, but is it going to be enough to kill Thor? No. He was thinking with portals and was able to get away safely. Janus is now coming in. Gotta watch out for that burst damage. Isis almost getting killed by that if she was just a little bit further forward. The Shooper is caught with very low HP. Down goes Geb, but will it be worth it? Sobek does go down to Janus, and now Janus wants to try to turn it into a double. He might be able to. He ends up banishing himself, buys himself a little bit of time. The slow goes down, but Isis and Uller proved to be a little bit too much for him. That was actually a lot closer than it should have been, with two of them wailing away on him. Oh, the pause has been put out. Zariel taking a second for his team. One of these two disconnected, as it seems. And
tournament top pause.
A pause.
Get it? Required. Get it? Works two ways. Get it?
Yes. I do get it. Dynamic Gaming only 3 kills behind. The gold difference is not much. Only 1,000. Just under it. You can round it up to 1,000. But, still anyone's game. I mean, we're not even close to a 5,000 gold lead. I mean, that can go either way. So these next fights are going to be pretty pivotal, especially with these first turrets getting lower and lower. Dynamic has an advantage though. Their left-hand turret is lower than the enemy's left-hand turret, but they have no damage on their right-hand turret. The game has been unpaused. As I look down to the builds, Muffin Man is starting very aggressive with that Doom Orb. Gotta be careful to keep himself alive. If he ends up getting ganked a little bit too often, that Doom Orb will do nothing. Boots are being built on Blink as he wants to get a little bit more mobile. Speaking of mobility, oh, whoa. Thor, huge gank. Using his ult to get in, and Berserker's Barrage followed up with a nice stun and kill. Aphrodite was in the right place at the right time. No doubt about it. Seems that sitting down over in this corner that Mercury liked to do ended up backfiring as Thor capitalized on the positioning. A little bit of speed, a little bit of slow. Silence comes down, big stun. Isis wants to get that kill on Geb, but Geb is going to be able to dodge a majority of that damage. Can't say the same for Muffin Man, as Muffin Man does get taken out by Azariel's Berserker Barrage. Dynamic Gaming are not going to let this game be lost while lying down. Blink able to get a quick killing spree on Apollo, however. Sobek and him ganging up on him. Uh-oh, Thorol comes up. Where's he going to land? He is going to land right on top of Uller, but no kill. Oh, that's going to be so close. There it is. Azariel with the kill. Good play. Banished by Janus is going to come down. Look at that burst damage. Half of his HP practically gone. Nemesis is in the area. Got to be careful for those revenge kills. Geb is
Honestly,
coming in.
that tail whip from Sobek pushed him right back towards the player. I mean, if Sobek had not done that tail whip, he would have gotten away.
I think he might have, yes. Though Thor is very difficult to get away from because of that Mjolnir's. And here we're going to see a quick engage onto Nemesis, but Nemesis able to dash away, which kind of leaves Sobek here to die. He's going to be slowed by Janus. Ends up using his pole to try to dash away. In comes Apollo. Apollo going to ult on top of Nemesis. But I don't think that he's going to be really engaging too hard. Isis is here, and she's doing plenty of damage for her team. Muffin Man trying to keep this aggressive. Nemesis getting a quick kill on Geb to run out, drive-by shooting, if you will. Isis wants to get this kill on Apollo, and she will get it. And now it's all on Janus. Janus is silenced. He's getting burst, and he does go down to that Nemesis auto attack. Very, very high action in the left-hand lane right now. Everybody's coming over. Thor's coming back.
The Doom Orb is real.
Yes. Oh, is he going to get that? Oh, nice stun. Mjolnir comes in. Berserker's Barrage practically guaranteeing the kill. There it is. Isis does go down, for he does not need to use a spell to hit you with a basic attack. So a silence does not help you much against Thor. Ooh, speaking of almost dead, Mercury ends up having to use his ult to get away from Aphrodite. He is one of the more safe people to push out with, though he is starting to really lose this lane. His squishiness is really being exploited by Aphrodite, who has a lot of burst damage. Blink is going to end up pausing the game. More connection issues. It's okay. That's what pauses are for. Try to keep the game competitive. We'll take a look at the builds. I see a Bancroft's Talon is going to be purchased by Nitro for his Janus burst damage. As they focus him, he becomes more and more powerful. I'm thinking a Jotun's Wrath is going to be finished by Azariel. We see the Devourer's Gauntlet on Apollo. That's going to help him in that late game, keep him relevant. Warlock Sash, standard build on Aphrodite. We may see a Book of Thoth afterwards to just solidify that mana. We've also see a Golden Bow on Mercury. He's definitely thinking about clearing. He wants to make sure he can clear just as fast, if not faster, than Aphrodite and push that lane up. And he's been doing very well with keeping the lane relatively pushed, but Aphrodite's so hard to push on because of those doves, healing her friendly minions and hurting yours. Blink is going for late game damage as well with his own Devourer's Gloves. The Doom Orb is still there. on Muffin Man. He's keeping it in spite of the deaths. So I'm sure he has some big plans for this game, as he's going to have to get a few kills in order to stack that back up. In the meantime, it's mostly boots being built here. Balance knife on Nemesis that could turn into something with some good attack speed. Might see a Fatalis. Very common early build because of that extra movement speed and attack speed. People like to go with that one early to help them with ganks.
I'm just surprised that Muffin Man's died as much as he has compared to last game.
Well, he is getting ganked. He's getting ganked, and Isis doesn't have really any escapes. All she has is silence and try to dash away with your 3. Plus the stun, but the stun can't hit both people if they come from you from 2 directions, which has been what this Thor has been doing. Thor has been putting a lot of pressure on Muffin Man and making sure that Muffin Man is punished for pushing out. And he's part of the reason why they have 7 kills to the 10 kills on the Sex Demons. And as the game unpauses, we will see what the plans are for both teams. Thor is going to be very, very, very important for his team in this game. Those ganks are so game-changing. Why do they keep pausing? Muffin Man, please. Sex Demons, please.
I'm telling you, top pause.
Top pause. Alright. The towers are under attack. Sex Demons regrouping after the fights here. Thinking about what they want to do. Blink is going to continue trying to push lanes. And I'm not sure. This is looking very good for Dynamic Gaming. Although they are behind by 3 kills, they're not behind by a lot of gold. Only an 800 or so. Yeah, just about 800 gold lead. Just a little over. But not 1,000.
Gonna fall left side.
Yeah, but his Mesmerize ends up saving his life, fortunately for him. But Uller has so much long-range poke, so you gotta be careful. As he can just hit you through walls, he can hit you from the sky, hit you from a straight line out of him. Those axe throws are great stuns. It looks like Thor may be thinking about ganking Uller. Although, there might be a gank in mid lane instead. I'm not sure if I agree with that. Janus does have his damage buff. Isis wants in on this Thor action. Thor is going to be surrounded. No stun! Ends up ulting out. Who's he going to come down on? Cataclysm comes up from Geb. There it is! He's down on top of Nemesis. Not much comes out of it, though. He's going to go through a portal to the other side. No, he does not portal out. He ends up using Mjolnir. And he's going to go back to base as Janus is going to try to run away. Wow, look at that damage from him! Oof! On the both of them, too, not just one. Isis with an attempted stun, but ends up getting stunned herself. She's trying to get a kill and does. Muffin Man ends up getting a quick kill for himself. Aphrodite going to try to help her friend survive here as Janus is going to be thinking with portals on his way out. Bubba ends up distracting the enemy just long enough for Apollo to get a quick kill on Muffin Man. Will he be able to turn it into a double? Just a couple more auto attacks onto Sobek and he might. Look at that burst damage from Aphrodite. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's why she's so annoying in lane. Janus comes in. He wants to turn this into a double for his team instead of just one. There goes one on Blink. And that's a great stun, but no damage to follow up to get the actual kill on Sobek. This is forcing Sex Demons to get on their back foot, but at the same time, Mercury's going to continue pushing in the right-hand lane with this split push that has remained unanswered. However, Thor looks like he's going to be coming over to punish it. This could end up being a kill for Thor if he Mjolnir's right next to him. He won't really have much to get out of there. Nice stun! Berserker Barrage, pretty much textbook kill. Guaranteed as soon as he got the stun. And at the same time, they're going after Gold Fury, punishing the Sex Demons for their positioning. Instead of split pushing, they were unable to stop that objective grab on the Gold Fury. They got a lot less gold for what they did. By just getting one or maybe even 2 towers, the Gold Fury doing much more for Dynamic Gaming as they continue to try to control this game. And despite being behind by kills, they're getting closer and closer. They went from only being 3 behind to now only being 2 behind. This game could go
top. The tier 1 tower was checking out on the right side as well.
Mm-hmm. Map control could go either way right now. Uller is going to try to get their left-hand turret, but Apollo will be there to contest it. And Apollo has much more mobility compared to Uller. though he does not quite push as hard. And it looks like Ullr is going to come over here. They might be trying to surround their enemies, but Janus makes that very difficult as he has a lot of mobility and can give his allies a lot of mobility. Maybe they want to fight at the Fire Giant? It looks like
Maybe
it,
they want
yes.
to do the Fire Giant.
They are definitely going to try to force a fight at the Fire Giant. If Dynamic Gaming saw that Isis wasted her stun right there, and ult, oh man, they might actually go in. Janus ends up catching Nemesis here with a quick barrier. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but the Cataclysm comes in. Bubba gets 2 kills for himself. Oh, the Sex Demon's really getting caught out here, and they end up being aced. Yes, that's a deicide, and that's going to be a Fire Giant for Dynamic Gaming, catching Sex Demons with their pants down, so to say. And this is going to be a heavy push from them. They'll be able to not only tank this turret, but take it too. Will they go all the way to the Phoenix before anyone even spawns? I'm not sure. They're trying to turret juggle here, trying to get Geb to tank it, but Geb does have that shield that can help his teammates tank it. Aphrodite tanking it is just as good. She has plenty of healing. They're continuing to ping. Nothing. They will not be going in for that Phoenix. Instead, they decide, let's get more turrets out of this, not just a Phoenix. Which, I guess is okay. It's a lot harder for them to defend if they're pushed all the way out here. So that's going to be a guaranteed 2 turrets out of that. So 1 team fight, 2 turrets, and a Fire Giant buff. Dynamic Gaming looking very good right now. They've pulled ahead by 3 kills from a 3-kill deficit. And Dynamic Gaming are slowly thinking about turning this game into a game that'll be a win for them, as it looked like they were losing earlier. Their team comp is very strong. Lots of mobility, lots of damage potential. Speaking of damage potential, 3 people against 1 Apollo. We'll see if he'll be able to get away. He uses a quick power slide to get out, and his Mesmerize able to get a quick stun. Wow, he does so much damage to Nemesis, but he ends up getting stunned. He doesn't get pulled though. Purification beads save his life.
Power of Geb compels you.
Yeah, the power of Geb is very compelling. Geb is a very strong support because of that shield. Those purification beads are the true reason why he survived. If he ended up getting pulled, he would have died. No doubt about it. It's a good thing that he bought those. Purification beads save lives. Sometimes even more often than wards do. In comes Geb, but he's not going to be going for a push on anybody. Instead, he's just going to push the lane with 3 of his teammates. It's 4v4. Mercury is way behind the enemy here, maybe thinking about getting a flank. No, he's instead going to just finish off that turret from the back, which is, I guess, okay. Aphrodite is going to stay there to prevent Mercury from split pushing as the 4v4 commences in the left-hand lane. Apollo wants that blue buff, with good reason. If he can keep his mana high, he'll be able to ult in and out if need be. As they continue pushing, Janus more than capable of pushing the lane on his own. Thor's actually going to leave this. Not sure if the Sex Demons are going to capitalize on that. They do know that he's gone. Geb is going to get a quick push here onto Sobek. Nothing comes of it, though.
This is the second game we've seen today where Mercury just has not had a strong showing. Like, they put him in, and it just doesn't seem to happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. Usually Mercury can carry pretty hard, but he's just never really had the opportunity to yet. Usually it's another teammate that does very well. Thor goes up. Will he come down? Yes, he does, but he ends up missing his targets. Ullr is still separated from his tank. Good stun by Ullr. That's going to actually secure his escape. But Apollo ult wants that kill. Janus gets it for himself using his own ult. And now that forces Apollo to actually go into a pretty dangerous situation. The Nemesis is separated from her team. Isis is attempting to get the enemies to fight inside of her ult, but it does not quite work that way as Sobek is taken out regardless of it. And Dynamic Gaming start converging onto the enemies. Shields are being thrown up, but damage is just too high. Muffin Man is separated once again, being all-in on, and Nemesis unable to dash her way to safety. This looks like they're going to have to go back, though, because the split push is too strong. They had to 5-man it. So now their Phoenix is under attack. They might actually lose a Phoenix for a Phoenix. They've decided to trade Phoenixes here. As Janus is going to be able to get there, but I don't think he's going to be able to save the Phoenix. Oh wait, yes he is! Because the Phoenix is attacking Mercury. Mercury is going to have to ult out. He does not end up killing the Phoenix though. Good job by Janus. I thought maybe Mercury was just going to try pushing it out, but he was able to kill the minions fast enough to turn that around. In the meantime, in the left-hand lane, kills abound. As Dynamic continues their pressure in spite of taking that Phoenix, they're like, we're not leaving yet. The lane isn't into your Titan, so we're just going to hang out and continue pushing. And now they're going to try to run. They certainly have plenty of options to do so, especially if they had a Gem of Isolation. Those healing doves would be very effective. Oh, nice stun by Aphrodite. Making escape easier and easier every single time she hits one of those. But Mercury does have some good harass. He has a lot of damage right now. We'll see if he'll be able to do something. If I was on Sex Demons, I'd go straight for that Gold Fury, and they are. So they are definitely on the same wavelength as me. Isis trying
Well, then I'm going to be on the same wavelength as Dynamic and say that I don't like Pirate Sobex.
They do not like Sobek. They will kill him at every opportunity.
There are too many parrots.
Yes. Not sure what's going on here. I'm surprised that Sex Demons aren't going straight after an objective. They're looking like they want to. They should have went after that Gold Fury. They were all in the area, but they decided against it in spite of Isis. Looking like she called for it, but Muffin Man's like, we need this. And the rest of the team's like, nah. Nah, let's get the speed buff. That's better. Let's take a look at some of these items. Kronos' pendant. This looks like a pretty similar build to the Kronos build, except for the Bancroft's talent. But Bancroft's talent does so much burst damage for a Janus that you can see how much damage he's already got. Once he gets a Rod of Tahuti, we're going to be looking at some serious output there. Some burst damage that will be extremely scary. Sobek almost taken down to half HP from Aphrodite by herself. Nemesis attempting to get a quick kill on Thor, but does not end up doing it. Silence goes down from Isis, who ends up being isolated. Excellent banish, but she ends up ulting herself. Thor goes up. Where will he come down? There it is. He ends up ulting right on top of Nemesis. I mean, not Nemesis. That's Uller, who does not get stunned because of Purification Beads. In comes Apollo. Quick kill onto Sobek. They do not like him, and he's also tanking very well. Banish goes down to buy some time. What's up?
I just said finish him.
Ah, okay. I thought you saw something I didn't. That's alright. Turret dive comes down onto Blink. Blink is going to die to those doves, and it looks like that's the end of the fight. And now they want Fire Giant. They certainly have the damage for it. Especially if Thor makes his way over. Though he is all the way back at base, so he will not be making it over there. Geb able to tank it perfectly fine, though. As soon as he gets his shield on himself, he actually starts healing over the Fire Giant's damage. And it looks like maybe they're thinking about continuing the pressure. No. Aphrodite going to go back to base. That's going to signal everyone else to go back, because without Aphrodite, they've lost a lot of sustain. So they decide, better idea to go back. Thor, on the other hand, says, I want more. So he gets an experienced camp and some damage buff as the Gold Fury. Still dead. Slowly respawning. Waiting on the next opportunity to fight, I think. They are definitely grouping up in mid. Janna's going to come in from the side, maybe hoping to get some flank action going on. Nope, he's not going to flank them. He's going to try to stay with his team. Much wiser decision. They don't quite have enough vision to really pull some aggressive flanks like that. They do have wards, but they're down in their own jungle instead of the enemies. So they're trying to change that now. Speaking of flanks, Thor goes up. Where will he come down? He might come down onto Nemesis. There he goes. Oh, man, that burst damage onto Mercury, almost killing him instantly, but he's able to get away from the Berserker's Barrage because of that awesome Purification Bead pop. And now we see Aphrodite in the middle of the action here, going to be healing herself, but she ends up being pulled, but she's able to get out of that. Cataclysm comes down. Shockwave. Isis ult. Everything's being popped here. Stuns abound. And Aphrodite gets a kill on Nemesis. Sobek in the middle of the action here. In comes Apollo, speaking of the middle of the action. Sex Demons are heavily pressured right now. They're trapped in the middle of their base. Geb going to do some quick burst damage to the almighty Zeph. Zeph getting lower and lower as he has to Mercury his way out of there. Isis is taken out by a Berserker's Barrage, and in the meantime, in mid lane, they're continuing to split the pressure of their damage onto either the Phoenix or the enemy gods in the area. Blink trying to do something, and so is Schuper using his Fist of the Gods to try to help push those minions out. The Phoenix does go down regardless of it. I'm wondering what they're going to be doing next. They're going to go straight for the Titan. They want to try to end this game as quick as possible. Do not let them regroup. Nitro gets another kill on him, on Mercury there for himself. And now their HP is starting to get a lot lower. Blink gets a kill onto Geb. And now Nemesis is coming in for some revenge. That's going to be really hard to catch. Those portals, so strong. Look at that. They're out. Jonas is so annoying because of those abilities. Able to teleport his team out whenever they want to. Apollo deciding not to use the portals at the end there. And runs around the long way. Trying the old-fashioned way. Not as hype about the portal technology that Janus brings to the table.
He rides the Sun Chariot. I don't think he minds the portals.
Yeah. Apollo going to be going back. Let's take a look at some of these buys. The Executioner, excellent choice. Followed by a Rage. We're going to see a huge damage spike for Apollo here. That Rage crit is just so strong. And the more he attacks, which he's going to be doing plenty of since he's Apollo, well, the more damage he does. I see a Rod of Tahuti on Nitro. His damage is almost doubled by that, just being in his inventory. So, if you thought he was hurting before, wait until you see the upcoming fights after this Rod of Tahuti has been finished. I see a Void Shield on Thor, very standard. The replacement to the Void Blade. And it looks like he's going for a Leviathan's Cloak for his last item. For some mixed defense, he's going to be a very tanky attacker. The Shifter Shield and Void Shield are very strong on a Thor because of his passive, giving him that extra damage. He doesn't necessarily need to build flat damage as quickly. And he also doesn't really need crits, as his Apollo is going to do a majority of that burst damage. And it looks like they may be able to provoke a fight here as they think that they have the advantage, but little do Sex Demons know there's a Thor in the sky. Where's he going to land? There it is, right on top of him. And that's going to maybe equate to a kill. No, Nemesis able to heal, but no, ends up going down to Bubba. And that's another great stun
Bubba's immortal.
Yes, Bubba almost dying, but that stun too strong. They want to get the kill on Muffin Man. One shockwave and he's done. Come on. Oh, the stun saves him, and Apollo goes down to Mercury, who also saved his teammate with that same move. Nice multitasking by Mercury there. Mercury going in here, not sure if I agree with that. He goes right into a stun, and now he's got almost no HP. Ends up being banished and killed on landing. Jonas is very deadly right now. His damage is through the roof. Doing more damage than even Kronos was doing last time. I'm seeing huge percentages of HP bars being taken down to nothing.
If I were Muffin Man right now, I'd be focusing straight on his Azrael anytime he comes in with Thor, because he's got so much physical protection, but he's got like very, very little magical protection.
Yeah, it's something that I think he can afford to do, because they definitely want to try to focus Jonas because of his high damage. But at the same time, Thor would be a much easier kill. So we'll see if they adjust to it. But for right now, it's going to be pretty hard because they have to focus 2 or 3 different targets to try to stay in those fights. I mean, Aphrodite can pretty much deny one of them. So whoever they start focusing on, they have to try to wait until Aphrodite's ult goes off, making them invincible. And then they have to switch targets to their secondary focus and then kill them. So maybe they should start with Janus, force that ult early, and then just all the magic damage goes on to Thor, killing him, and then they go back to Janus. That would be one game plan. We'll see what they do. They're still in this game, though they are behind by quite a few bits of gold.
Oh, got another fight coming at the Fire Giant.
Yeah, they're definitely posturing around it. I don't know if they're actually thinking about going in. It definitely favors dynamic gaming, and they are going to be separated here. Thor gets killed, unable to resist the outpouring of damage from his enemies. But look at how fast Janus is moving with those speed buffs. In comes Apollo, but Mercury able to ult his way to safety. I think that Janus was thinking that Mercury would actually go past towards the enemy base, which is why he chose the positioning that he did. But Mercury decides to go back to his team, and that equates to him surviving. I think he would have died if he went past.
Without Thor, you lose a lot of versatility on Team Dynamic, or Dynamic Gaming, I'm sorry. Just because he has the wall, and he's got the ult, and he's got the slow. 2
stuns, he's got a slow, he's got teleportation, and he can Berserker's Barrage for some good sustained damage and burst. Oh, the silence comes down onto Aphrodite, and she's taking next to no damage from them. She is so tanky. And in comes Mercury. That's going to be an ultimate from Nemesis as well onto Geb to make Geb a little bit more vulnerable. Look at that damage from Jonas. That is ridiculous. how much damage he does with just one ability. If he gets a banish, that's going to almost kill people. I'm pretty sure that could almost kill Mercury. Stuns come out, but it's not going to be enough. Mercury and Nemesis having to get out of that fight almost immediately. Isis being focused down. Thor is on his way, but it doesn't look very good for Dynamic Gaming as they're starting to drop one by one. Apollo getting a double kill, I think, in that fight. And Muffin Man does end up going down, almost surviving, and Mercury falls right after him. Apollo getting that kill for himself as well. The Shooper goes down to Apollo's damage, and now it's all on Blink. Blink ends up getting the kill on Apollo, and he's going to try to leap his way out with some purification beads. Thor wants to try to pincer his way to a kill here. Uller is dangerous. You've got to be careful, Geb. Shockwave comes down. No Cataclysm. They don't have a stun. There's the stun. Mjolnir comes out, but not going to equate to a kill. Stun of his own. Uller wants to fight this out. Not sure if I agree. It's 2v1.
Wow. Look at that health.
Yeah, Uller able to keep himself alive with that lifesteal. And he's going to keep the pressure on. Good for him, all by himself. Doing plenty of damage.
Doesn't have much health. There goes.
The turret does go down, and in spite of relatively losing that team fight, though it was very even, it was pretty much a loss. But that jump, though, is too much for Thor to really handle. But now he's going to have to take those minions. Oh, the minions are not going to be killing him. If Thor had his ult, I'm pretty sure Uller would be dead. But Uller wants to continue the pressure.
You better get out now. They got buddies coming in.
Yeah, I see Nemesis is coming as well, but decides to stop for the movement speed buff. I guess that Nemesis decided that Dynamic would not go in, and fortunately, Nemesis was right. Isis is getting some experience. Not sure why. She's level 20, so maybe it's just for the gold. It must be worth a good amount of gold. There is one thing that the Isis needs to finish, and that's her build. So one more item, and it's pretty much done. After this one, the magical focus will be turning into something lovely. I'm sure it will help with some penetration. Bubba going to pressure this fire giant. And the rest of the team is there. Apollo is on the other side of the map going after the Gold Fury. He will be able to kill the Gold Fury. Not sure if I agree with this play, though. It's going to be 5v4.
Don't do it.
If they get any picks, Sex Demons will be heavily ahead here. They're going all in. It's in. The fight is on, as Pitt would say. And the ults are going down. You can see that the red health bars aren't really going down as fast as they'd want to. But then in comes Thor. That flat damage is undeniable as he takes out Isis almost instantly upon landing on top of her. Mercury just barely making it out of there. Inching his way out. Having to actually try to lifesteal off of a camp just to try to stay alive. He's fortunate that Dynamic Gaming pretty much forgot about him. Uller trying to continue the pressure from afar. His ranged harass is not to be denied. Blue buff is dropped on the ground. I think that Aphrodite will be taking that, and she does. Geb is going in, but not going to be engaging on anything. I don't think he has Cataclysm off cooldown. He ends up getting a quick push there, and they're going to go all in on Sobek. He's dead. Good pick by them. Sobek not exactly in the best position to come out of that, and I think that this is going to be an easy fire giant for them. Especially with Thor still there.
Contesting. Sex Demon says no, we're here.
Dynamic Gaming ends up getting the fire giant, and now they're going to get a double kill. Will they make it a triple? One leap over that wall, and he does go over. Thor using his Mjolnir to harass, sadly, so he's unable to pursue. What I would have done is tried to throw it through him to get the harass and then go through the wall, so that if he jumped, he would have just still had Thor to deal with. And if he didn't jump, he'd have the rest of the team to deal with as well. Either way, Uller would have died. And now they're going to go after this.
Off for Muffin Man. He's been dying too often for it to be really useful.
Yeah, he's going to probably have to sell that, get something a little bit more, less sensitive to deaths. Thor goes up. Where will he come down? He comes down over here onto Blink. They want to get this kill on Blink. They're like, you know what, Blink, you want to escape us? Fine, but we're going to try to kill you here. But it ends up not necessarily going that way, as now Sobek is going to try to ult for the kill. Nice dodge by Thor. That was really good. Sobek attempting that kill, but did not get it. Apollo, on the other hand, not as lucky as Thor back there, but Thor's Mjolnir's very, very strong escape, able to go right through his enemy and get to safety. So now they have a pretty much uncontested push right now. It's only 2 people on Dynamic Gaming, and the 2 that are pushing right now are very deadly. Sobek getting a pick for Uller can definitely equate to a kill, so they have to be careful, especially with just Thor here. Thor has damage, no doubt about it. but he is not going to be able to go against two of them. The two of them can probably kill him. The shield goes up, and they're just going to try... Oh, he misses the pull! Well, maybe they were just going to tank the turret, but they do not end up doing so. Tail Whip is burst right now, so there will not be any tail whips if Thor goes in. No stun. Purification beads. Too strong. In the meantime, Mercury with more split push. They're trying to push this game back into their lap, basically. They're trying to take their control of this game and its pacing. And I think that they might be able to do that.
Muffin Man trying to build up his Doom Orb again.
He's got to try to get that Doom Orb back to its full stacks. Otherwise, he's going to be way too far behind in damage, especially compared.
Well, he does have a full rod, so he gets a percentage bonus. So any Doom Orb buff up he gets is going to be massive.
Yes, especially when you combine it with the Obsidian Shard's penetration. He's going to be doing a lot of damage to the enemy in the upcoming fight.
Isis loves penetration.
Yes. I see that they have a disconnection on their Janus, but they can't pause the game anymore. They've used up all their pauses. So Janus is going to have to try to get himself back into the game as soon as he can. They've lost a lot of damage on Dynamic. It's going to be hard for them to bring this back without Janus's burst. Apollo doing a quick split push, you can see on the right. But does the Sex Demon team see that he's pushing there? No, they don't seem to be coming over yet. Now they are. Mercury coming over with Uller in tow. Maybe Sobek too. No, Sobek is staying in mid. The cautionary ping has been put next to Apollo. We're pretty much all at max level right now, except for Geb and two people on the Sex Demons, both Sobek and Nemesis, though Nemesis will be level 20 sooner. There it is, level 20 for Nemesis. Pretty much max level game now. Level advantage goes to the Sex Demons by 1 level.
Well, the only two that aren't max level are Geb and I believe that's Sobek.
Yes. Before it was Nemesis too, but Nemesis became level 20 a couple seconds ago. So level advantage is definitely going to the Sex Demons, but only 1 level up. Kill advantage still going to Dynamic. The gold advantage pretty heavy. It's only going to get wider as the game goes on. These minion kills aren't really doing much for them anymore as their builds are being finalized. You can see Blink has finished his build, and so has Thor. Thor, a very tanky build, and we see Apollo very damage based. Geb is pretty much finished. He just needs his Leviathan, and he's pretty much done as well. I'm pretty sure that Bubba's build is finished too. So a lot of finished builds coming into this fight, and it looks like there will be an engage. Silence comes down. The cautionary pings have been put. It's 3v3, but soon to be 3v4. Not sure if I agree with Geb's aggression here. He ends up wasting his ult. His Cataclysm will not come into play into a future fight.
Paul is sitting on the outside just waiting for the fight to really start.
Yeah. Everyone's trying to get a positionary advantage in these fights. One thing that Dynamic is doing that's very smart is they're trying to stay with their super minions. They may be a person down, but having those super minions there can sometimes make up for the loss of damage. Looks like Apollo was lagging pretty heavily. He's running into a wall and now just standing there. And now he's turned around. He's just hanging out. Using his idle animation. Geb is going in. He's going to try to steal this. Dynamic Gaming does steal it. Oh, what a play. That was so close, but he ends up getting the steal. And now Thor with the kill on Mercury. Mercury getting away from his team. Not a good decision by Mercury there to walk away from his team, and he ends up getting picked off by Thor. Now this is 4v4. Apollo may be thinking about riding that chariot in as soon as he stops lagging.
Well, it's actually 3v4 simply because Giannis is still disconnected.
This is going to be a 3v3 now. Muffin Man is taken out by Thor. Thor doing some work. As Ariel's saying, alright, well, if we're going to try to win this game, I'm going to have to drag these guys kicking and streaming towards the victory. And by streaming, I mean screaming. Although they could be streaming if they wanted to. Oh, that's a good engage. Not going to be enough, though. I knew that her ult was on cooldown. Was wondering when she was going to pop it. And there's Thor trying to get another kill. Almost killing Uller. And now he's going to turn his focus onto Nemesis, but that's not going to be enough for them to get any
There's
kills.
another DC now on Dynamic Gaming.
Many DCs. It looks like Apollo is having connection issues as well. So now we're down to 3v5. The better computers can win games. What can I say? If you don't have the ability to stay connected to high-res, you're going to have a hard time winning games, even if you do well. Nemesis going to do some armor penetration here as the Mjolnir comes out. I gotta say, though, Dynamic are being troopers, and they're continuing to fight in spite of their 2 DCs. They're going to try to fight this out. Geb going to do his best as Mercury goes down to Thor's damage. Thor uses his ult. He's up in the sky. The Wrath. Will he go for Sobek or will he go for Nemesis? He misses Nemesis. That's a shame, but he ends up getting stunned by Isis. Silenced. Isis trying to get her burst damage out. Thor using his Berserker's Barrage, not able to hit anybody as Geb goes down, trying to tank the enemy. In comes Sobek. That's going to be a good pull onto Aphrodite, and she's unable to save her friend Thor. Quick silence and a good double kill by Uller. This could be enough to end the game with these 2 DCs.
This may be a win by Sex Demons, just by circumstance.
That is a shame. They did very well in this game. Dynamic Gaming showing that they have plenty of skill.
Apollo's back.
Apollo has returned. And now he has to look at the situation that he's come back into. What's he going to do? He's going to stand in base. He's going to use his chariot. He is in the air. Where is he going to go? He's going to ult somewhere.
Sobek?
He's on Sobek. Okay, interesting. Right-hand lane is going to be pushed in by Isis and Uller. And Apollo's going to come in from the left-hand side, staying in mid lane, trying to buy his team some time. He's going to push in these lanes. He does not want the normal minions onto the Titan if he can help it. We need to see more people respawn. I need to see Janice come back. Come on, Janice. Nitro. Get in that game. This is going to be down to the wire. I mean, Nitro has to get back into this game. If they want to try to win this, they've lost almost half of their damage through him. He's doing so much damage, and then he leaves the game. Connection's too strong. Connection's always more OP than any teammate or build, or god, or anything else. Speed
Whole
buff
team
on the
backs
ground.
off saying, hey, we're going to go buy some stuff.
Yeah, might as well finish those builds. The only person who doesn't seem to have her build finished is Nemesis on the Sex Demons. Yeah, pretty much everyone's got their items builds finished. I see that the Mystical Mail has been purchased by Sobek. It's going to make him pretty devastating as he gets into the enemy team and uses all of his abilities to try to stay there. Uh-oh, looks like there will be a fight in mid. Ooh, nice catch there. That's going to separate Mercury from his team, but a follow-up stun is going to save his life. Thor goes up.
Thor.
Where will he go down? He's going to go down onto Mercury, but does not get the kill in spite of landing on him. Mercury's ult denying that. Apollo is over in the right-hand lane. He's going to cross over using his chariot. I'm wondering what he's going to be doing to try to get kills here. He's in the middle of the enemy team. Not a good position. Ends up getting killed for it as his teammates were running away by the time he got in there, and he ended up sacrificing his life because of that. This is going to be a very heavy push by Sex Demons. They know that they have to try to end this game if they get into that base. Yeah, they're going to try to get as many lanes in there as they can. They need to get as much pressure on this base as possible. If this Janice is able to come back, he could turn this around even without any Phoenixes. So you have to remember that. Even though it's looking heavily in the Sex Demon's favor, it just takes one teammate for them to really turn this around on the Dynamic Gaming side. As I say, this Geb is going to be maybe the second. Yes, he is the second teammate for now to
Aaron
fall.
Sr. must be pissed at him.
Yes, I would be a little angry. I would be very angry at Nitro Kid.
You can survive, Titan.
Oh, they end up tossing him in, but it's not going to be enough for the kill. The heck is up with Janice?
Good game. So Sex Demons wins too.
Yep, that is going to be 2 wins for Sex Demons. That's going to take them